Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and a very warm welcome to Government House, Yarralumla. Dawa Nuna, Dawa Nunawel. I acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet, the Ngunnawal people, and pay my respects to their elders, past and present, emerging leaders, and all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders gathered here today. My name is Paul Singer, and I'm the Governor-General's Official Secretary. And as this badge signifies with its cross quills, I'm also the Secretary of the Order of Australia, whose Council recommends appointments and awards in the Order's General Division to the Governor-General, who is the Chancellor of the Order and Principal Companion of the Order. I'm also the Secretary of the Australian Bravery Decorations Council, the body which makes recommendations to the Governor-General for bravery awards. Before we start the ceremony, I'd like to acknowledge among our distinguished guests, Commodore John Stavridis, representing the Chief of Navy, Major General Paul Kenny, representing the Chief of Army, Air Commodore Philip Gordon, representing the Chief of Air Force, Commissioner Rhys Kershaw, Commissioner of the Australian Federal Police, Mr Pat Hetherington, representing the Commissioner of the Australian Public Service Commission, and Group Captain Philip Morrill, representing the National President of the Order of Australia Association. Welcome all. Notwithstanding the challenges presented by the pandemic, we are delighted that we're able to proceed with hosting investiture ceremonies here at Government House, and we're grateful for your understanding of and compliance with the measures put in place to ensure this ceremony can occur in a COVID-safe manner. The Australian Honours and Awards system provides a wonderful mechanism through which we as a nation can recognise and celebrate ordinary people who do extraordinary things. Since its inception in 1975, almost 400,000 people have been recognised for their meritorious, bravery, military or national service. The Order of Australia is the principal means of recognising outstanding service. And it's important to note that nominations can come from all areas of the community. Anyone can nominate. Today is a special day, not only for the recipients, but also for their families, friends, and communities. It is a day when we celebrate a diverse range of impressive achievements and service. As staff at Government House, my colleagues and I are privileged to play a small part in the recognition and celebration of that achievement. I hope we can make today an occasion that you'll all recall with pride for some time to come. Shortly, I'll invite you to stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs Hurley as they enter the room. Please remain standing and join in the singing of the Australian National Anthem. The investiture will then begin and proceed in the order listed in your programs. After I read the names and citations, the recipients will enter the room from the doorway on my right, and after they've been invested by the Governor-General, will leave by the centre aisle to take up their seats at the back of the room. At this point, you may like to show your appreciation with a short applause as each recipient leaves the room. At the conclusion of the investiture ceremony, the Governor-General will say a few words, and then I'll invite recipients to join with Her Excellencies for a formal photograph out on the state entrance stairs. To assist recipients in making their way to the state entrance, could I ask that you please remain in the drawing room briefly, and then once that photograph has been taken, we'll invite you into the dining room where refreshments will be served, and Their Excellencies and recipients will join you for afternoon tea. So please relax and enjoy this very special occasion. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please stand for the arrival of Her Excellencies the Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia and Mrs Linda Hurley, and for the singing of the Australian National Anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is good by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In in joyful strains, then let us sing, Advance Australia fair.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Well, a very warm welcome to you all to Government House, Yarralumla, this afternoon for a very special occasion in the lives of our recipients who are sitting somewhat apprehensively behind us. It's a great joy to be able to share this special occasion with you, and Linda and I and the team here at Government House. I look forward to getting to know you better today. Could I begin by acknowledging that Government House at Yarralumla sits on the land of the Ngunnawal people. If you're an ACT resident, you'll know how beautiful this part of the country is, and we thank them for looking after it for generation after generation for us, and pay respects to their elders past and present. Now, I heard Paul saying to you as I was waiting outside, enjoy the day. Well, this is an important day, and of course, you may have noticed, there is some pomp and protocol about it, people in their nice uniforms, all dressed up for the occasion. But please relax. This is Australian Government House. You're allowed to smile, applaud when we tell you to, and acknowledge the great Australians who are going to be acknowledged in a variety of categories of achievement here today. Could I particularly thank the families that are here to support? I know how these things work, and people are not recognised without family support. So thank you for all of you for what you have done to enable the recipients to be here today. Our award system, if not unique, is very special in that it is a bottom-up system. The people being acknowledged today, particularly in the community awards, have been identified by their peers as worthy of recognition. Ours is not a system, as was somewhat in the old imperial system, where someone up high in government or the country reached down and said, so-and-so is doing a great job, we should acknowledge that. This is your system. People only appear here to be recognised if their community, their peers, seek to have that done. I want you to bear that in mind as we proceed through the ceremony today, because in my concluding remarks, I'm going to give you some homework. The young children are smiling, they didn't expect that today. But homework will be yours. So we will get to that point later. And on that note, can I now formally commence the investiture ceremony? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, to be presented with the insignia of his appointment as an officer in the General Division of the Order of Australia, Mr. Malcolm Hazel. For distinguished service to the Crown and through a range of advisory and consultancy roles with government and business. Mr. Hazel has served the people of Australia before and after his viceregal service in an exceptional manner. His contribution to 2 Governors-General was most notable. More recently, he has held the office as Extra Equerry to Her Majesty the Queen, one of only 2 people outside the United Kingdom to hold this esteemed position. Since retirement, he has served in a pro bono capacity with a range of church, education, cultural and charitable organisations, including the Winston Churchill Memorial Trust and the Constitution Education Fund Australia. He's also undertaken a range of consultancy roles in both the public and private sectors. His clear and decisive advice, based on long-term experience and knowledge, has been essential to the workings of government and our wider society. Mr. Hazel is a person of great integrity with a deep sense of public duty, and we are indebted to him for his service. Mr. Malcolm Hazel, appointed an officer of the Order. Appointed a member in the General Division, Mr. Alan Williams, for significant service to business tourism and to the community. Mr. Williams, through his service with the Canberra Convention Bureau, helped shape our city to be the attractive tourism and business events destination it is today. He volunteered his vast experience to the Bureau for over 12 years to help it navigate the political and business landscape. During a successful career with Qantas, he was also a member of a range of leading tourism industry councils and associations, both nationally and internationally. Additionally, he's been involved with a number of local community not-for-profit organisations, including as chair of Hands Across Australia, which supports disadvantaged individuals and families, and with the Salvation Army Red Shield Appeal Committee. Mr. Williams' sustained contribution to his community is to be applauded and is most deserving of our acknowledgement. Mr. Alan Williams, appointed a member of the Order. Appointed a member in the Military Division, Lieutenant Colonel Alison Olof, for exceptional service to the Australian Defence Force in malaria research. Lieutenant Colonel Olof has displayed untiring dedication over 20 years to disease control and management in the Australian Defence Force. She's undertaken critical roles in field research and operational and strategic immunisation program development and has become one of the eminent authorities in immunology. Her breadth of experience has resulted in the implementation of several successful screening programs in the Southwest Pacific, which have been pivotal in improving the relationships with nations in that region. Lieutenant Colonel Olof's inspirational leadership and outstanding diplomacy has developed the Australian Defence Force Malaria and Infectious Disease Institute into a highly capable and world-renowned resource in the battle against infectious diseases. Lieutenant Colonel Alison Olof, appointed a member of the Order. Awarded a Medal of the Order in the General Division, Mr. Peter Crisp, for service to the creative arts, particularly as a glass sculptor. Mr. Crisp is an internationally renowned glass artist whose unique pieces have been exhibited throughout the world, as well as being held in high-profile public and private collections. He's also been a generous mentor to young artists, sculptors, painters, and musicians by guiding and encouraging them to pursue their passions. He is a strong supporter of his local community and currently holds the position of President of the Yass Music Club. He's been instrumental in bringing both international and Australian artists to perform in Yass or at his own gallery. Mr. Crisp is a dynamic individual whose contributions to the creative, visual and performing arts, to emerging artists and to his community are outstanding. Mr. Peter Crisp, awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, Mr. William Fogerty, for service to the community of Adaminaby and to military history. Mr. Fogerty has made a significant contribution to the town of Adaminaby for almost 20 years. He's volunteered his time with a range of organisations, including the local Rural Fire Brigade, the Town Hall Committee, Legacy, and the Returned and Services League sub-branch. Previously, he served for 22 years at the Australian War Memorial, where he made an important contribution to the nation's understanding of our military history. He was historian and leader of the War Memorial's battlefield tours to Gallipoli and played a key role in the resurgence of Australia's recognition of the Anzac contribution on the peninsula. Mr. Fogerty has spent a life in service to both Australia and to his local community, and it is fitting that we honour him today. Mr. William Fogerty, awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the General Division, Mrs. Suzanne McInnis, for service to the community of Queanbeyan. Mrs. McInnis has been a stalwart of the volunteering community in Queanbeyan for many years. She's been a vital supporter of veterans and their families through her roles with Legacy and has been called the glue that keeps the Queanbeyan legacy going. She's been responsible for the effective running of the club, which looks after the welfare of more than 100 wards. She's also organised and runs many functions for Queanbeyan Legacy, including the Anzac Day Dawn service, Badge Week events, support for the local Australia Day ceremony, and a host of other fundraising initiatives. Mrs. McInnis' efforts have transformed the lives of many, and we are indebted to her for her commitment to others. Mrs. Suzanne McInnis, awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Medal of the Order in the Military Division, Principal Chaplain Colin Acton, for meritorious service to the Royal Australian Navy in the field of chaplaincy. Principal Chaplain Acton has provided a superior contribution to the Navy through his leadership and reinvigoration of the Chaplain Division and through his pastoral care of Navy personnel. He's worked tirelessly to improve the professional and personal lives of Navy members while providing support and counselling to those in need. He has, through his insight and drive, supported equity and diversity training and improved strategies for mental health support. Principal Chaplain Acton's reinvigoration and contemporising of the chaplain branch will benefit the Navy and its people well into the future. Principal Chaplain Colin Acton, awarded the Medal of the Order. Awarded the Commendation for Distinguished Service, Lieutenant Colonel David Hill, for distinguished performance of duties in warlike operations as the Chief of Staff of the Special Operations Advisory Group in support of the Afghan General Command of Police Special Units on Operation High Road from December 2016 to June 2017. Lieutenant Colonel Hill led the 9-country Special Operations Advisory Group in planning and implementing improvements in the functioning of the Special Police Headquarters. He enhanced the control mechanisms for Special Police response for Kabul City and provided superior leadership to the Special Operations Advisory Group during 3 high-profile attacks conducted in Kabul, including on the National Military Hospital on the 8th of March 2017. Lieutenant Colonel Hill closely monitored events as they unfolded, provided time-sensitive support, assisted in post-resolution coordination, and most importantly, effectively managed those who had been wounded. Lieutenant Colonel David Hill awarded the Commendation for Distinguished Service. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Captain Scott Houlihan, for outstanding devotion to duty as Commanding Officer of HMAS Jules. Captain Houlihan is a Principal Warfare Officer and Navigator who has served in a range of ships and shore postings. As Commanding Officer of the landing dock ship HMAS Jules, he has empowered his ship's company to deliver outcomes required to be battle-ready and deployable. During the 2019-2020 bushfire crisis, HMAS Jules was at the centre of Navy's response efforts and undertook the successful evacuation of the Victorian township of Mallacoota. Captain Houlihan provided clarity and reassurance to a desperate community and led his team and 1,100 civilian passengers and pets through a complex evacuation under heightened media and public attention. Captain Scott Houlihan awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross, Squadron Leader Amanda Norris, for outstanding achievement in F-35 fighter aircraft training for the Australian Defence Force. Squadron Leader Norris, as Officer in charge of the Integrated Training Centre, demonstrated outstanding devotion to duty during a crucial period in the F-35 aircraft's induction into service. She is recognised as a leading subject matter expert on F-35 training systems and was vital in establishing the Integrated Training Centre to meet the needs of the Air Combat Group. She has directly improved Air Force's reputation and secured a sovereign training capability for Australia. Squadron Leader Norris's leadership and professionalism have delivered prodigious results in Australia's ability to support F-35 training. Squadron Leader Amanda Norris awarded the Conspicuous Service Cross. Awarded the Public Service Medal, Ms. Karen Binicamp, for outstanding public service to health, particularly through improvements to listings on the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme and subsidy of breakthrough medical treatments. Ms. Binicamp has been instrumental in the latest innovative therapies being subsidised by the Pharmaceutical Benefits Scheme. She liaised with community advocates seeking to have the HIV preventative drug known as PrEP added to the PBS. She also led a team that developed a unique package of payment and risk sharing that reduced the upfront cost of the drug CAR-T, an innovative cancer cell therapy for patients and the first treatment of its kind in Australia. Ms. Binicamp has achieved positive outcomes for the community and optimum value for the Australian government. Ms. Karen Binicamp awarded the Public Service Medal. Awarded the Public Service Medal, Dr. Doug Marmion, for outstanding public service through the strengthening of Indigenous language infrastructure. Dr. Marmion has been instrumental in strengthening the maintenance and revival of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander languages. His work in establishing AusLang, the online database for these languages, has resulted in the database now being a world authoritative standard. Additionally, he's been heavily involved in the reawakening of the endangered Ngunnawal language. He's worked closely with Australian government ministers, senior public service executives, and other high officers to embed Ngunnawal acknowledgements into Australian public service protocols. Dr. Marmion's passion for Indigenous language preservation has contributed significantly to our cultural environment. Dr. Doug Marmion awarded the Public Service Medal. Awarded the Australian Police Medal, Assistant Commissioner Lisa Gale, for distinguished service to the Australian Federal Police, particularly in the areas of child protection and victim-based crime. Assistant Commissioner Gale has dedicated the majority of her career to roles within child protection and victim-based crime, where she's overseen significant reform in combating the exploitation of children and people smuggling. She's pioneered pathways for international law enforcement organisations to adopt a collaborative, whole-of-government approach to human trafficking and slavery-related matters in Southeast Asia region. She's also held senior roles in ACT Policing North Region, Learning and Development, Cybercrime and Domestic Violence Liaison, and is currently the National Manager of Protection. Assistant Commissioner Gale has provided dedicated and committed service to the AFP and to our community for over 33 years. Assistant Commissioner Lisa Gale awarded the Public Australian Police Medal. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the presentations for this afternoon.
Well, we have acknowledged each of the recipients individually. I think it would be appropriate now to acknowledge them as a group. Congratulations. Now, we have seen the wide range of contributions, activities that the recipients have been involved in, have engaged with, and how they've helped us both as a society and as smaller communities. Your homework. Although we get slightly a distorted view here in Canberra, given the size of our group that comes through, we are still not where we should be in terms of diversity in the order. The number of women being recognised is increasing, I'm glad to say, but we still have more to do. And across the various groupings that contribute to our society, those from overseas and in our Indigenous people, we are underrepresented. So you've now got an idea of what people are being acknowledged for. Your homework is to go home and nominate people of merit in your community who deserve to be recognised by the nation for what they do for all of us. Yes, I can see people nodding. That message has got in. Important that we do this. This is your way of saying well done to your fellow Australians. Thank you again to families who are here today for your support. Again, thank you to all our recipients for your significant contribution to what makes Australia what it is today. A country that in even the most difficult times over the last 2 years has held together, has been strong, and is coming out of those experiences well. You all reflect why we can do that. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, anyone can nominate a fellow Australian. And as the Governor-General has issued the homework, particularly for those younger amongst us, it's easier to do by accessing our online nomination form on the Governor-General's website. You never know, they may even find themselves receiving an award similar to a ceremony like this in the future. I now invite today's recipients to join with Your Excellencies out on the state entrance stairs for an official photograph, and invite guests to just remain briefly here in the drawing room until Their Excellencies and the recipients have departed. Thank you and good afternoon. Would you please stand for the departure of Their Excellencies the Governor-General and Mrs. Hurley.